on a Wednesday. One of the most important missions in human history was launched, Artemis II, the first crewed mission heading toward the moon, after more than half a century, since the last time a human set foot there, during Apollo 17 in 1972. But this time, the goal is not just exploration, it's the beginning of a whole new era. The mission launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida at exactly 6:35 aboard the Orion spacecraft. However, the objective of this mission is not to land on the moon. Instead, the crew will fly around it, get close, and return to Earth. The landing will come in the next mission. The crew consists of 4 astronauts: Commander Reed Wiseman, a former fighter pilot who spent months aboard the International Space Station; Victor Glover, who was part of the first crewed SpaceX Dragon mission to the ISS; Christina Cook, an electrical engineer; and Jeremy Hansen, a Canadian astronaut and fighter pilot. With this crew, the mission includes the first woman, the first black astronaut, and the first non-American astronaut on a crewed lunar mission. The Orion spacecraft is made up of 2 main parts: the crew module, where the astronauts live, similar in shape to the Apollo capsules but far more advanced. It features modern digital displays, advanced control systems, and about 9 cubic meters of habitable space, suitable for 4 people. On the outside, it is protected by an advanced heat shield made from special materials capable of withstanding temperatures up to 2,800 degrees Celsius. The second part is the service module, the true powerhouse of the spacecraft. It was designed by the European Space Agency, and it contains solar panels for power, water and oxygen tanks, and the main engine for maneuvering. As for the rocket, it is the massive Space Launch System, one of the most powerful rockets ever built. It stands meters tall and weighs about 2.5 million kilograms at launch. It uses 4 main engines, along with 2 solid rocket boosters, producing a combined thrust of about 40 million newtons. Its main role is to push the spacecraft beyond Earth's atmosphere and escape its gravity. After launch, the spacecraft was placed into low Earth orbit, where the crew stayed for about an hour to ensure all systems were functioning properly after the intense vibrations. Then, the orbit was raised into a high elliptical orbit, which takes about 24 hours to complete 1 full loop. During this phase, the crew tested life support systems, carbon dioxide removal systems, and manual control systems, all while still close enough to Earth to return immediately if needed. Once everything was confirmed, the engines were fired for 20 minutes to push the spacecraft out of Earth's gravity and toward the moon. From that moment, the spacecraft entered what's known as a free return trajectory. A brilliant concept. The spacecraft travels toward the moon, loops around it, and returns to Earth automatically, even if all main engines fail. During the mission, the spacecraft will reach a distance between 6,000 and 10,000 kilometers from the moon's surface, much farther than Apollo missions, which flew as close as 100 kilometers. This makes Artemis II the farthest distance humans have ever traveled in history. One of the most critical moments occurs when the spacecraft passes behind the moon. At that point, all communication with Earth is completely lost for about 45 minutes. No signals, no data, complete silence. Then communication is restored and the journey back begins. As the spacecraft approaches Earth, the service module separates and burns up in the atmosphere, creating intense friction that raises the heat shield temperature to extreme levels. But the shield is designed to withstand it, slowing the capsule down gradually until the parachutes deploy and it lands safely in the Pacific Ocean. Recovery teams will be waiting, and with that, the mission officially ends. But the real purpose of Artemis is far greater than a single mission. Artemis I, an uncrewed test. Artemis II, a crewed test.
Artemis 3, the return to the moon's surface. And beyond that, a space station orbiting the moon called the Lunar Gateway. From there, a sustainable system will be built for continuous travel between Earth and the moon. The true difference between Artemis and Apollo is simple. Apollo proved we can reach the moon. Artemis aims to prove we can stay. The question is no longer, can we go to the moon? But now, can we live there?